Hello! Thought I'd make a video about nothing in particular because I see it's been a few weeks since I posted something on this channel. I should probably be spending this time producing content for one of my main channels, but that's what I tell myself whenever I'm doing anything but that. Deus Ex is one of those games I play through every few years. What with the time dilation that's been going on, it's been a bit longer than that since I did it last, so I figured now would be a good time to try it again, but with a mod of some kind. I chose the revision mod, and I love it. I know the start of Deus Ex very well, but the later levels and storylines are a bit fuzzy to me, and the mod has done a great job of confusing me further. Did this level always look like this? Or is this one of the ways in which the revision mod has expanded upon what was already there? And so on. I find places I'm sure weren't there in the original game, but they seem so natural that I wonder if I simply missed them before. Part of me wishes I was playing through the game twice so I could directly compare the versions. But fortunately, I've chosen to stick with the other part of me who just wants to remain in ignorant bliss about it, because I had this wonderful moment a few years ago when I first tried this mod. It was in the New York streets level, and I looked up and I saw a balcony with people sat there, and I knew that wasn't ever there in the original game. And just for a split second I got that Deus Ex feeling I used to get when the game was new, where the world seemed alive and endlessly sprawling in all directions. That sort of feeling that transforms black skylines into real places with their own stories, or blocky corridors into a place with feelings. I mean, I always feel that at a low level with this game, but I mean an exquisite sensation of it, where it becomes my whole existence for a few seconds. As powerful an emotion as love, or intense pain, or really wanting a sandwich. Those are the moments worth living for. So yeah, not like it's worth making a video about, but I can recommend replaying old games with new mods, especially if you don't 100% remember them in the first place. It's like a weird dream. Now for something completely different. There are some things in life that have had their reputation dictated by one source, which is fine as long as viewers of that source understand the topic enough. But more often than not, it appears that people watch a single video about something they don't know about, then think they're an expert in it, and use that limited knowledge as a weapon to engage in debates with people who know more about it than they do. Normally I stumble upon these things by mistake. The telltale sign is when people have a really strong and emotional opinion about something that they clearly don't understand, and I have to probe to get to the bottom of it. There's a lot of hate for VPNs, and without fail, those people will link back to that Tom Scott video about them, as proof to why VPNs are a con and don't work. Which is news to me, having used one for years. So either they know something I don't know about them, or I know something they don't. Either way, there's some sort of information asymmetry going on, but my hands on this particular matter are tied because I do occasional sponsorships for NordVPN, which I feel makes it impossible for me to talk about them the rest of the time. But for what it's worth, I'll just say that I was already using NordVPN personally for years before I started promoting them. Another one of these one-source experts I've discovered is with frame rate interpolation. I got into upscaling and converting videos from 30 to 60 FPS, and I ran into this wall of resistance that I couldn't understand for a while. Apparently, converting to higher frame rates is bad. I thought at first it was a message brought to me by the console peasant, but it turns out it's from this video of a cartoonist complaining about it, which apparently people have watched and concluded from it that frame rate interpolation is inherently evil, and then they feel justified in engaging in witch hunts with whoever decides to do anything with it. So I know already that people are going to have a thing or two to say about my new animation style that I've been experimenting with recently, which utilizes frame rate interpolation in order to achieve the desired effect. That is, if I ever manage to finish it. It's one of those weird projects that I think up, never do anything with it, and then move on before it's done. So I'm trying for once to finish something like it, and frame rate interpolation has been the great friend to me throughout this. I did have a chapter about YouTube and how much kliksphilip's stats have sucked, but I realised it's probably too soon after the 2021 analysis video to complain about that again. But as a quick update, one of the last videos he did last year is now one of the most viewed videos of all time on the channel, and it's earned him a grand total of £1.86. It's quite sad to see, but he hopes that by sticking to fewer but longer, more fun videos, he'll be able to attract an audience back to the channel, which at some point in the last year has seen its presence almost completely die. But enough of kliksphilip. What's this kliksphilip channel about? The last 2 years, aside from that ill-fated 5 minutes with Phil experiment, I've dedicated this channel almost entirely to COVID. A monthly video summarising the situation in England and how I'm feeling about it. Every time a month passes, I'm all surprised thinking, wow, how's a month passed already? And then I get to work on a new COVID video. I feel I've got nothing to say about it, then before I know it, I've got a 10-minute video, full of stuff I thought I covered the month before but didn't. Which is proof of how much and how quickly a situation can change. This has never been a popular series of mine. In fact, this channel has got less successful from it. But its intentions are pure, and I still think it was the right thing to do with kliksphilip, because I'd have regretted it otherwise had I not used this opportunity to document a pandemic as it unfolded. It's helped me to deal with COVID and has helped change the way I see life. I take pictures of stuff that seems normal to me now, but I know will look weird once all this is over. I talk to people, I discuss stuff with them. I try to get a balanced opinion because I feel responsible when I'm reporting it to people in video format. It's been a great excuse for me to invest the time to try and understand the situation and to deliver it in snapshots on this channel. But I do finally get the feeling that COVID is winding down. Famous last words and all that, but soon I think the series will no longer be needed. I must say it's going to leave a gap for content on this channel that I've forgotten how to fill. But COVID isn't going down without a fight. And I'm not even just talking about the disease aspect anymore, merely the impact it's had on our society. I've said before about how angry people seem. I assumed that everybody was receiving more abuse, and I think they are, but from the other YouTubers I've spoken to, nobody has received the increase in hatred that I've received this last year, and the sheer nastiness of that stuff that I do receive. Like literally, on a normal day I've had half a dozen unrelated encounters before lunchtime. I realised just the other day that I don't remember the last conversation I've had with my parents that hasn't started with me ranting about something that's happened to me. And that's sad. As an example, I was playing games with a friend the other day when somebody else on my friends list, who I hadn't talked to for years, finally broke their silence to attack me for my stance on COVID. He started with something baity telling me how repressed unvaccinated people in Canada were, before quickly turning downright nasty as he used me as a punching bag for his frustrations. Evidently, he had a chip on his shoulder and was really keen to make it my problem, telling me to overdose on pills and stuff like that. But I was busy trying to play a game, so I told him to get lost and then I blocked him. But I hate that I've been reduced to that, and that I'm constantly battling against these sorts of attacks, none of which I've provoked, and all of which are losing me friends, some of whom I've known for over a decade. So I just hope that these sort of encounters begin to subside once the COVID series ends. Ironically, while kliksphilip struggles to find an identity, kliksphilip fell into one that I didn't even ask for. I've become a COVID YouTuber. And I think the people I'm encountering are COVID individuals. Much like politics or gender, COVID has become more for some people than what it should be. It has become their whole identity. And I feel, because my kliksphilip channel has a COVID identity, these people feel justified in attacking me out of the blue just because, and in saying stuff I wouldn't dream of saying to my worst enemy. But it's becoming tiresome, predictable, and a depressingly familiar part of my day-to-day life. I've had some nice encounters too. Today I met a unicorn. Somebody with over 2,000 hours in CSGO, who is still firmly Silver 1 and still loses and gets wrecked in most of their games. I thought they were memeing, but they genuinely play properly. Or, buy weapons, rush the enemy and try to shoot them. I think they could improve if they wanted to, yet I'm left in sheer admiration at how they don't want to. It's hard to convey the emotion I feel towards them. It's like my friends and I joke and meme about this sort of thing, and yet here is a person living it as a reality and happy with it. He's my new hero. By the way, he does have an alt account. That one's Silver too. So there you go, a video about nothing. Which might actually be the most kliksphilip content that I've made in a while.